just waiting for Nikki to come.
Hello.
Hi, Nick.
Hello.
Today, I think one of the things that we really need to talk about for everyone that's watching our videos is the issue regarding body weight and losing fat, and what you start off with and what you end up with. Is it possible to get, you know, into great condition regardless of where you've come from? How about, like, you see all these people and things. We've been on YouTube as well, because we're on there now. We've noticed there's just so many people, you know, doing, you know, fitness and all sorts of stuff, and they come from all different walks of life. But, you know, we are quite mature in age. Like, I'm 82. Well, I'm 81. I'll be 82 this year.
And I'm 75.
And Nikki's 75. So, you know, I've had 2 children with Nikki, that is. And as you can see, you know, it affects your body to some extent.
He's talking about the grey hairs, okay? He's not talking about, you know, all the other things that come with
No, so what I want to do, I just wanted to ask you.
Yes.
Like, you're a mother, right?
Yes.
You've had a couple of kids. How has it affected your body?
Oh, well, age. Look, any of you that have had a baby will know that, you know, it's very exciting when you're having a baby, but it does change where the body parts and how they sit, and they become a bit fuller, rounder. Things begin to go down south. So all sorts of things start.
But what I want to know is at your age now, what has changed on your body? Like, for example, like, what's changed?
Oh, I think...
Like, for example, what are your hips like compared to 20 years ago? What's your tummy like compared to 20 years ago? What's your skin like compared to 20 years ago?
Well,
do you have the same body as what you had 20 years ago?
No, I don't have the same body. Look, the body shape is generally the same, but I think what happens once you've had children, you tend to carry, or I can speak personally, more weight around your tummy area, around your thigh area. It is harder to lose the weight, so you know, in your 20s it's a lot easier. You know, you sort of train and you think, oh yes, it's easier to keep fit and lose the weight, but as you get that little bit older, you really have to work a lot harder. That's what I've found. You've got to work a lot harder to actually achieve a result. Okay,
but is it possible to lose your body fat regardless of what you're in? Like, you hear about apple-shaped, pear-shaped people, etc. All that it is when you put on too much fat, it's what you look like when you put on too much fat.
That's right.
Isn't it?
That's right.
You know, genetically, like, we all have cells and, you know, bones and organs and, you know, muscle and all that sort of stuff. And we might age differently. You know, we might lose our hair. But, you know, like, if you look at your parents, you've got an idea as to where you're going.
That's right. That's
if you look at their parents, you have an idea as to where your parents came from. And if that's a big step, you've got a long way to go, right? Yeah. No, so it is possible to change shape, and believe me, the way you look like today is purely a result of the way you live your life.
That's right. Lifestyle is everything. So if you look the way that you look, it's because of the lifestyle that you're leading, whether it's sedentary or active, or whether you eat well or drink too much. All those things, you know, play a role. But what you'll find as you get older, which most of us would know, it is harder, and your skin is not as elastic as it used to be. But it doesn't mean that you can't get a result. You can get a great result. It just means you have to work a little bit harder than, you know.
No, you work at the same... Listen, it's always at your intensity. It's not harder. Someone who's younger has to work just as hard as someone who's older. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
It's just that they're in a better position to start off with, generally speaking.
Yes.
So if you're training and you're not getting a result, what does that mean?
If you're not getting a result, that means you're not really training hard enough, or it could be...
No. If you're training and you're not getting a result, what does it mean?
You're doing something wrong.
That's right.
That's right.
Now, what possible things can you be doing wrong?
Well, the 2 basic things that you need to get a result are your exercise, so there's something wrong with the exercise that you're doing, or there's something wrong with the nutrition, your diet.
Okay,
that's it.
So listen, if you are fat, why would you be fat?
Oh, too many calories in.
That's it. It's just too much food.
That's right.
No, so for example, if you're carrying too much body fat, It simply means that you eat too much or have eaten too much for too long.
That's right.
Right, now, How do you lose it?
You've got to change what you do, people.
Yeah.
You can't do the same thing because guess what? That got you to where you are right now. So if you want to change, you have to change what you do. So if you're eating too many calories for the energy you're expending, you need to eat less.
That's it, simple, less. But the thing I want to talk about here is we see a lot of people and they lose weight rapidly. And when you're losing weight rapidly, you're losing predominantly muscle.
Yeah.
And muscle contains water, predominantly water, most of it, at least let's say 3/4 of it. It's not the way to do it. You know, like your body has to, go into its fat and use it for energy instead of the food that you ate that day. Now, if you eat too little food, your body will eat its muscle.
Yeah, and that's what people don't understand sometimes. They actually become fixated with the scale and they go, oh, I lost 5 kilos in 1 week. Yes, but where did that loss come from?
But how so? Wait there. 5 kilos in 1 week. A kilo is 9,000 calories. You know.
So how is that really possible?
How can you possibly do that? Like if you eat 1,500 calories a day just to maintain life, which is not much, 5,000. 9,000 calories, for a kilo, it's not possible. You're losing water. If you're dropping weight that much, you're losing water. Look, do this little test. If you went to sleep tonight and we weighed you just before you went to bed, as soon as you wake up,
yes,
the average person would be average, like us, our weight, 60 to 70 kilo, around that sort of range, is going to lose between 1 to 1.5 kilograms of weight during the night. Now, where did that go?
Well, you weren't working out in your sleep.
Well, listen, go to a mirror, go real close to a mirror, take a big breath in and go in front of the mirror. What do you see? You see moisture. That's water. You're exhaling water. You are dehydrated. So, if you're going to wake yourself in the morning and feel good in the morning because you feel
think you've lost a kilo overnight.
That's just water. So the easiest way to lose weight is just to lose water, right? So it doesn't work. You really got to do, exercise. You really got to change what you eat, etc.
What you eat, how often you eat, all that plays a big role. Because sometimes the interesting thing is sometimes when you talk to people too, that they are of the belief that, because you're eating healthy, you can eat as much as you want.
No.
Which is untrue.
Well, actually you can, but it doesn't look good on you.
No, well, at the end of the day, you can still be overweight from eating too much. It's all about how much you're putting into your body, really. And the excess is going to be stored as fat. Let's make no bones about it. The excess is going to be fat. So you need to, even when you're eating healthy, watch what your intake is. Yep. Right.
So the reason we're doing this talk is when you watch us exercise, we're obviously trying to change our body and keep it, first of all, where it's at in terms of fitness and strength, etc. But our composition, the amount of fat we have in our body and the amount of muscle. I never want to lose any muscle whilst I'm training, and neither does Nikki.
No.
Right? We're doing it at this pace to, keep our muscle, shape it the way we want it, and force our bodies through the nutritional, diet that we use to limit our calories, therefore, only to some extent, therefore the surplus that's necessary. So for example, if you need 1,500 calories a day and you only eat 1,200, that extra 300 has to come from somewhere. And where do you think it's going to come from?
You hope it's going to come from the fat.
That's right. Now, if you drop that fat, that's 300 calories from fat. If you want to lose half a kilo in a week, that's anywhere between 3,500 to 4,500 calories, depending on how it comes from your body. So you need to make a deficit of at least, let's say, 500 calories a day just to drop half a kilo of fat in a week.
Yes.
That's a lot. Or add that as exercise whilst not eating anymore, right? And that's why you'll notice with Nikki, her body's changed significantly, but she has not lost any of her muscle. Now, your muscle determines how much energy you need every day to get by.
That's right.
Isn't that right?
Yeah. And the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolic rate. So you know what? The more energy your body will expend just doing the day-to-day things. So we really want to maintain that muscle. We don't want to lose the muscle.
Yeah, and if you keep your muscle, your metabolism adjusts to that muscle, so it becomes normal. You've just got a new level at which you work at. Do you understand? If you drop weight quickly, you go on these crazy diets and do all that sort of stuff, or get motivated by someone that's, you know, ripped to shreds and go, I want to be like that, I'll do whatever they've got to do, but I have to do it in 6 weeks. Well then, believe me, when those 6 weeks are up, you're going to put it back on. Whereas this way, it's all about making a lifestyle change. And we like to encourage you to just to be a little bit more sensible when you do your, you know, workouts and your approach to food and all that sort of stuff. And you know, you really want to try and focus on long-term.
Well,
Definitely long-term.
It's got to be something that you're able to maintain. And the other thing is, when you're actually wanting to lose weight, you want to do it so that you have plenty of energy and that you're not feeling like you're hungry. You're not eating just lettuce leaves. You want to have that great feeling. So whilst you're achieving your goals, you still feel great. You're able to do all the things that you want to do and maybe even a little bit more, right? So you want to do it in that capacity, not feel that you're tired all the time, you're hungry all the time. That's not going to last for very long, is it?
So look, if you've been trying to lose weight and build a beautiful body, because both those things happen naturally when you make a lifestyle change and you make the right sort of choices. But if you've been trying to do that and it hasn't really worked for you, you're going to need to change a couple of things. The first thing is your mind. Change your mind, change your body, change your life. It works in that order. So assuming you change your mind, you need to adapt a philosophy where you'll, you know, basically eat very well and stick to rigid guidelines of at least 5.5 days a week. And that involves eating food provided by nature. That's it. And we can talk about that at a later date as well. But think about food provided by nature. So think about fruits and vegetables and anything that you can recognise that comes out of the ground or off a plant in its natural state. Things that come in a packet like bread and rice and pasta, we wouldn't include those.
No, you don't really need those. They're really like fillers. Look, there's nothing wrong with pasta and rice, but for every day, you know, you really want to stick to fresh fruit and veggies and, you know, lean proteins. And
that, sorry, I just want to get onto that. And then the other thing you want to have is anything that runs, swims or flies. So an animal of any type, but in small quantities. So we're talking about eggs and milk and cheese, for example, fish and different meats like the white meats like pork and chicken, and red meats like beef and lamb, etc., and all that sort of stuff, right? But in very small amounts. That means look at the size of your hand, the palm of your hand. You cut off your thumb, your fingers, your wrist. What you're left with is a little circle here. And look at the thinnest part. That's basically a portion size. And that's basically all you need really in a whole day. You don't need any more than that. Now, if you did that, you won't be hungry.
You get, see, what you want to do is feed your body what it needs.
Yeah.
Okay? And what people have become accustomed...
But what does that mean? If you feed your body what it needs, what does that mean?
What does that mean? You'll have plenty of energy.
No, but what does it mean? Your body doesn't need anything else.
No, it doesn't need anything else. You're just giving it what it needs.
So if it needs extra calories... So in other words, if you've given the body all the vitamins and minerals, proteins, carbs and fats that it absolutely needs, we're talking about the essential proteins, the right type of essential fatty acids, the balance of fat-soluble and water-soluble vitamins, the minerals that it needs and the water, it doesn't need anything else.
That's right.
Do you think your brain's going to say to you, hey, let's eat that?
No, look, you just got to give it...
That's a point. I want to make that a point. Yeah. Is your brain going to say, you know, turn on a message to your tummy to give you that hunger sensation to go and eat?
No.
No, that's a really important point. It won't give you that. So if you're getting that whilst you're dieting, what's it telling you?
Yeah, that you're doing something wrong.
Your diet is not nutritionally sound, right? So it's really important you get that right. We have a detox that we do. We shouldn't really call it a detox, but we'll call it a detox anyway. It's on our YouTube page and also on our website, ConikiTV. But do that and you will see how little food you really need, and when you give the body all the nutrients it needs, the fact that you're not hungry.
That's right.
So look, I just want to finish up now. So how are we going to summarize? If you want to build a beautiful body and have a healthy life, what sort of things do we need to do? What's the first thing?
We need to exercise.
Exercise how? How hard?
Look, we need to exercise intensely, okay?
For you. For you,
at your level, okay?
And if you don't know how hard that is, watch us.
All right, so you need to work out intensely.
Right, what's the second thing?
The second thing is we need to look at our nutrition and make sure that we're eating, you know, raw, natural, unprocessed foods as much as we can.
So what's that? Foods that come from nature. If you can recognise it out of a plant that comes out of the ground or grows under the ground, you can eat that, right? Nothing from a packet. And lean meats, anything that runs, swims or flies, not coated in, you know, flour and the Colonel's 11 herbs and spices, right?
Yes, and obviously eating that in the right amounts, in the right portions, at the right time, just giving your body enough. We need to get rid of that, you know, old adage where you need to eat till you're actually full, right? Pick a plate.
Yeah, so basically, well, I just want to get to the summary of it, that's why. So we need to eat small portions many times a day. So instead of sitting down for a large meal, have a small meal and eat often. Like have a small meal, serve the stuff to your plate and just eat that. Don't eat any more. Don't put a dish in the center, then you keep serving from that dish, you know, until you
want to feed the body what it needs, okay?
Not your mind what it needs, right? Okay, so we've done exercise, we've done nutrition, we've done the mind. You've got to, you know, change your mind, don't you?
Yes, yes. Just accept the fact, accept where you are, and then move on from there. But you know what? You need to, once you've made up your decision, you need to look at that and then put it into action. So, okay, make up your mind, and then what do I need to do? Do I need to clear out my pantry? You know, do I need to go and buy fresh fruit and veggies? What do I need to do to achieve my goal, okay? If you do what you've always done, then you'll get what you've always got. So you need to change what you do.
And if that's not what you want to get, well, then you need to change what you're doing, obviously.
Yes.
Okay, so that's basically it. In a nutshell, what we also do is the extra day and a half. Remember, 5.5 days a week we do this. So for example, Nikki and I, between, let's say, Monday and Saturday, you know, lunchtime, we have these rules. So if we have the inclination to want to do something outside that, we plan it for those 1.5 days. So you can still enjoy yourself, do whatever you want, but if you have this balance of 5.5 days on, 1.5 day off, it's easy, isn't it?
It's easy and it's enjoyable. You've got something to look forward to. If you go out on a Saturday night and you have dinner, you know, it's great. But to be doing that every day, you're not going to achieve the results and you're not going to have a nice, healthy body.
Yeah. So do the detox, which will really kickstart everything and teach you something that is really hard to explain. Like doing it is the way to do it. Do it and then look at this video again, and what we're talking about, you know, to you today makes sense. Do the workouts. You know, we do the tutorials. The tutorials are there to show you how to do the workout, but also in each exercise, maybe an easier or a harder version. So whilst you're doing it, you can pick, you know, which one suits you. Work intensely. They're short. They're meant to be intense, and you know, try and do something every day, right? So
absolutely.
Assuming you've done that, you should be well on your way, regardless of what you look like right now. If it's really bad and you want to end up with six-pack abs or, you know, tight glutes and a sculpted chest and long and lean muscular legs and super toned and sexy arms, it just takes time. But every day that you do it, you are one step closer than what you were the day before, right? So it is possible. You can do it. We're doing it in a way that we can sustain it and keep the, you know, a really beautiful body. Watch us change. We're doing it anyway. And sooner or later, even though one day we might take our shirt off. Or
oh, you will.
Maybe
you
not.
Will.
Or maybe a bikini or swimmers, and you'll see what we're talking about, okay? Plus, when you're doing it right, you get stronger, you get fitter, and you can see that in the intensity of our workouts. And if you just start watching them, try and actually do them. Because believe me, when we watch them, we go, my God, that looks so easy. But Jesus is so hard. Right, so anything else? That's about it, isn't it?
That's about it, guys. Stay active and healthy, and it's easy to do. Just make up your mind and then do whatever it takes to get there. It's not actually really that hard. It's easy. Just make that decision and move forward. Great.
So we'll see you again for another one of our beautiful talks, which will be in another section of our house the next time round. All right, all the best. I'm Con.
I'm Nikki.
And we're from
ConikiTV.
Yep, and stay tuned and we'll see you again next time. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.